Maker's Gonna Learn YouTube channel. As Tanner would say, get in the room. Now it is just me and Sadie back there. Actually, Sadie, if you want to turn the mic on and just kind of mic up, that way it would maybe make it a little bit easier. It is just us here in the room. I do want to say that if you all are praying people, whatever it may be, we do ask that you lift one of our team members here up. She is a behind the scenes, you never see her, but without her, our everyday operations wouldn't run as smoothly. She found out that she lost a very, very close family member earlier today. So not going into details, but please, we do have a team member here in office that could use some prayers. So, thank you guys so much for being here today. We are going to be making this super cute, and let's go overhead. Oh, is the echo bad? Is our echo off good?
I don't hear an
echo. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay, just wanted to make sure our sound was right because we did have issues with echo last week. But we are making this super cute, I guess, acrylic workaround that we can do this with the Cricut, guys.
I love it so much.
Is this not so stinking cute?
It's so darling.
As you can see, we have a lot of different test things here on the table, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it first, okay? So we are going to be using, for this, to make this thing right here, we are going to be using, this is like super, super thin acrylic. That is going to be, it's linked down below, it's 1 millimeter thick. So this is something that you can cut on your Cricut. And we're going to be doing with a deep cut blade today. So you can do this with an Explorer or a Maker Series machine. So this is really fun, but this is the base of this. And we're going to be using adhesive vinyl. Now, you all know that normally with things this small, adhesive vinyl is not the way that we go. However, before I pull all of this out, we did try heat transfer vinyl with this project, but let's look at this. The reason that we're not going with heat transfer vinyl is because, do you see all that? First of all, you can see right there how the heat has warped this acrylic and kind of like melted it there. But you can also see the adhesive on the outside of the words. So this is not up to our standard. It just ended up not looking as good. You can see it even melted the, these letters really, really bad. Yeah. So that is why we are going with permanent vinyl today to get this look. We also did this, and I want to show you this as well. We also engraved, so if you have a Cricut Maker, a Maker 3 or a Maker 4, you can engrave on it as well, but it just does not really pop like having it white like this one does.
So true.
But it is a cute option.
Very cute.
I do think it is very cute. Now, could you come back in and maybe add like white acrylic paint? Maybe. I haven't, but it might possibly be an option, but I don't know how well it would stay. But this is the engraved one that you can also do with a Cricut. Okay. Now we also did it, I think this one was just on a pre-cut blank. So if you don't want to cut this shape out, you can purchase a pre-cut blank from Hobby Lobby, and you can make this, and then you could do little tags in different things. It's completely up to you. If you don't want to try to cut it with your machine, or maybe you don't have a machine that can cut, you can do it with a pre-cut blank from Hobby Lobby. Love this. And then the last one that we did, it's also not my favorite. It's just not super sturdy, but we used, this is like a super thin, like Mylar plastic, and cut this out of Mylar plastic. Once again, it just doesn't give me, it's just not quality.
Yeah, that would be better for like a tag for a gift.
Yes, this would be so much better for a tag for a gift or something, not really a keychain that's gonna need to hold up, okay? So I wanted to show you all of the different options and why we went through with this, because I know a lot of times if we don't show you and explain, you're like, well, could we do this and could we do that? This right here shows you that we test just about everything when it comes to a project to get the perfect combination of how to do something, okay? So I'm gonna set these to the side. This is what we're gonna be making. So let's talk about everything that we have here on the table and what you might need to complete this project. So starting off, you definitely, if you are gonna cut out this shape and you want to make your own, you are gonna need this acrylic. Now this is linked down below. It says it's like a replacement glass for photo frames, but this is 1 millimeter thick acrylic, super, super thin. So you are going to need this if you do not want to get the pre-cut one. If you use this, you are also, it might not be a bad idea to have some sandpaper handy just so we can maybe like sand the edges just in case there is a piece that is like jagged. We like to just sand those edges if we need to. You're also going to need some masking tape. This is going to be what we use to secure this down on our mat. So we are going to be using a strong grit mat, but you are also going to need some masking tape with this, okay? We did not try rub and buff in the engraved version. If you want to, you are more than welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we did have someone just ask what kind of blade do you use. You can see here we do have 2 different blades here on the table. If you have the capabilities to use a knife blade, if you have a Maker 3 or a Maker 4, using a knife blade will more than likely be your best option. It is going to cut through a lot better. However, I'm going to show you how we cut this with a deep point blade because, like I said, about 90% of us can do this if we use the deep point blade. So we're going to be using this blade today, but just know if you have a knife blade, you can use a knife blade. If you have a machine that has the capabilities to use the knife blade, this is the when we cut out of all of these that we cut, Holly said that this one cut through the best and the quickest on the tooling leather cut setting, okay? Yes, we are cutting acrylic. It is 1 millimeter thick acrylic with a deep point blade, okay? Now, other than that, what you are going to need for the words, you are going to need some type of permanent vinyl and transfer tape. That's just going to be what we use for these words on this. You can see it does cut this small. Just know that, and we're going to talk about cut settings and things here in a minute, but you should be able to cut this small on your Cricut, okay? Next, what you are going to need, you are going to need some type of jump ring or lobster clip like this, as well as little hooks. So these little tiny hooks right here are what we're going to use to attach this and these little guys to our jump ring right here, okay? And then finally, not finally, actually there's a few more things. I don't know why I said finally. You're probably going to need some needle nose pliers. I've got a couple pair here on the table. You will also, if you cut this out and do not buy a pre-cut one, if you cut this out, you are also going to need some type of drill and a little teeny tiny drill bit. This one doesn't even have a size on it that I am seeing, but you can see how small, and I bet we have taken it out of, hold on, let's see if I can figure out which one it goes in. It looks like this is a 1/16 drill bit, okay? So we are doing a 1/16 little tiny baby drill bit.
So tiny.
It is so tiny, and it's definitely, you definitely need a tiny size for this, but we're just gonna take it and drill through there. When you are drilling through acrylic, if you haven't drilled through acrylic before, what you're gonna need to do is start with a small one first and always work your way up. You never start, never, ever, ever, no matter how large your project is, you never start with the size you want your hole to end up being. You always have to start small and work your way up because acrylic can crack so easy, okay? So, did I touch on everything? Oh, last thing. This is just a little extra. You can see here we have some cutie little charms. I may grab a little charm, but if you want to, I do think that, let me get this guy figured out. I do think adding a cute little charm to the front just like elevates it.
I love it.
I think it looks so, so cute.
Adorable.
So cute. Love it. So, with all of that being said, let's go ahead and hop over into Design Space and let's start the designing process.
This is such a good one. I'm excited.
I'm too. Okay, so here is what we will end up looking like. Angela said, so you can't just put the hole in the design itself and let the blade cut it out. Angela, let's go back overhead. First of all, we are going to be cutting through acrylic. And if you are using the deep point blade, I'm going to let you know that it's not going to be super, super great cuts. We are going to have to kind of like tear the acrylic away a little bit. I'll show you how. But look how tiny that hole is.
It's really small.
And to get that clean of a hole, there is no way your Cricut is going to cut that through acrylic. So that is why we tried. We tried to have the Cricut cut out the hole in this acrylic. It did not work. Absolutely did not work. So that's why we're using the drill. Okay, so back to our share screen. Here is where we are going to end up. And to get there, we first need to grab the files and the fonts that we're going to be using. So we're going to hop over to Maker's Gonna Learn, and the first file that we're going to be using is this Mama Keychain. Look, we have already made it to where this is already set up for you. You have 2 little nameplates you can put in there. We'll duplicate that if you need more, but we have already set all of this up for you, ready to go. So all you have to do is click that little download icon, and that is going to download to your computer. This is just an SVG, they don't have a PNG version of this one, so you don't have to unzip it. And then after we've grabbed that, we're going to come over here, and the font that we are going to be using today is Unity. Now, this is a pretty thin font, but we're going to show you how to work around that and really get the size that we need so that we know our Cricut is going to cut it and not give us issues, and then also make it easier for us to apply. So we are going to make sure that this font is downloaded, and to download a font, you're going to click this arrow pointing down, and then we're going to come up here to the top and we're going to double click this. So if you're on a Mac, all you have to do is double click this. If you are on a PC, you will have to right click and extract the font. After the font has been extracted, what you are going to do is you will then install the font. Once again, if you are on a Mac, it's going to install into your font book. If you are on a PC, it is going to install into your character map. Now, once you have done that, we're going to hop back over to Design Space. You will need to, if you have already started working, what you are going to need to do is make sure that you save your project. This one is, and then we're going to come up here to View, and we're going to reload Design Space. So what happens is Cricut Design Space now picks up all of the new fonts that you have installed onto your computer, and it can be used in this application as well. So we're gonna, where did it go? We're just gonna go back to my stuff, and we're gonna open this up, and we're gonna go to customize. I don't know why it went away. So now we are going to upload our files. Now I'm going to leave this on the screen. You all know we like to leave this on the screen, but to upload, we're going to come over here to the left side, and we're going to click the upload icon here. And then we're going to click upload image. I'm going to bring my Finder back into view, and I'm going to grab that Mama Keychain SVG first, and I'm going to drag and drop that here. We're going to go to continue, and we're going to upload. Now, This uploads really large.
It's so big.
Wow. I thought that it would upload about the size that you need it, but I guess you can choose what size you want. For today, what we have here on the table, let me grab my trusty measuring tape and I will give you an exact size on this one. It looks like this keychain is going to be about 2 inches. So we'll go back to Design Space, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to size this down to whatever size you want. Actually, since that one's 2, I'm curious how, maybe let's do 2.5. And we'll do a side-by-side comparison of a 2.5 to a 2-inch keychain.
Yes.
So now that we have sized this down, and I know that it's going to be the right size because, oh wait, I made it smaller. I made it 1 point.
Oh my gosh.
You need to be
It'll
looking
be
at the
tiny.
height, not the width. I was looking at the width. My bad. So the height. Now I'm at 2.599, so about 2.6. I think that's fine. Now we are at the right size because the height right here tells me how tall it is. We could even go down. There we go. Beauty. Okay. After you have done that, what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we can actually just ungroup this whole thing and make this multiple layers. So now we have this here. We have both of our little name plates here, and if you need more than 2, what you can now do is just duplicate however many little name places you need, okay? So after we have done that, the last thing that we need to do in Design Space is just add the names. So what we're gonna do is come over here to our text box. I'm gonna come up here to our font, and I'm going to go to our system fonts. Remember, the font that we're using is Unity. And we're just going to select Unity. Now, here is what our font looks like at this point. And now we're just going to type in our names. So we'll do Carson. And then you're just going to size that down. Now, what you can do if you wanted to, I'm going to actually turn this one right here, and then you can now size your name to fit, and you might have to zoom in because this is pretty small. So at a certain point, functions stop working once it gets so small and you have to zoom in. So you're just going to make that name fit there. Now, once again, this font is way too thin for you to cut this small. So what we need to do is we need to come up here to where it says edit. We need to click on edit, and then we need to come down to the effects, and we need to add an offset. Now, obviously a 0.25 offset is way too large. We need to be able to read the actual font. So we're going to put 0.01. And then we will enter. We'll see what that looks like. So 0.01 is better, but I do think let's try 0.02. So let's go back over here to edit. We're going to do an offset. We're going to try 0.02. Apply. Okay. I can still read that one and it still looks good. So I do think maybe a 0.01 or a 0.02 is going to be best. And then after you have done that, we can just come back in here and we just keep adding the names. Braden.
I was about to say, who's Brian?
It's Braden. I just can't spell. And I'm just using this one right here as kind of like a general rule for, or like how large I need to make it. So once again, edit, we're going to come over here to offset, 0.02. Looks great.
Looks so good.
Love that. And then the last one is Colton. Here. And then we'll do offset, 0.02, apply, and boom. We have all of our names, and now we can zoom back out.
Love it.
And now we can straighten that back out if you want to. Move it over here. And then delete this guy. And y'all, this is about it. This is where we're at. Now it looks like she did a lot smaller. When we were setting this up, it looks like our names are quite a bit smaller than what I actually did. Let's see. But I think they both look good. I don't think either one. It just depends on. We could make them a little bit smaller if we wanted to. Maybe like that. Let's just go ahead and make all of these a little bit.
And I guess one thing you'd also have to consider is leaving room for the hole.
Yeah, I did. Thank you for reminding me, because I don't think I did really leave room for the hole, because with these you do have to consider leaving
especially
room.
with those longer names.
Yeah. So some of your names may have to be smaller than others. For example, Braden does look quite a bit smaller than Colton, but you have to think I had to make it a little bit smaller to leave more room at the top. So I'm just going to check Carson here. We'll probably make his just a little bit smaller too. I think that's good.
Oh yeah.
Love. So now that we have all of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and just boop, get rid of that. And now we are ready to cut. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to change all of these to black so that they're all on the same material, or they're all on the same mat as this word right here. Sorry, I was reading some of your comments. Yeah. So now we are ready to go to make it. We're going to do this on the mat, on a 12 by 12 mat. And it looks like it's starting us out with our acrylic, which is perfectly fine. So I do already have the acrylic loaded here on the mat. And we're going to cut this together, but I am going to place what we're cutting inside like this area. So I need to come back over to our share screen, and it looks like I have a full square down from the top and 1, 2, 3 squares over. So I need to be about right here is going to be a good area, and then we can kind of move all of this around accordingly. And it looks like I've got over to here. No, I think I need to move this guy down here just to be on the safe side. Okay, so from here, we're gonna go to continue. Now, I am using, like I said, I'm using our Maker 3 today. Also, Sadie, we might have to change our
little, ooh, that's very close. That's very close. Give me just a second. Let me fix this for you guys.
You guys are
A little bit better. She's a little bit better. Okay. So I'm going to be using this guy today. We're going to move some stuff out of the way. I feel like we can move her over just a little bit. Maybe even move this here like this. How's that? Perfect. Okay. So we are going to be using our Maker 4 today. I'm not going to load this in yet, but I'm just going to lay it there. So let's go back to our share screen.
And we're going to add our own custom cut settings today, okay? Now there's an echo.
I'm listening, but I don't hear anything.
Huh. I wonder if it's because I went behind the camera.
Maybe.
I don't know. Sorry, guys.
If y'all have an echo, try refreshing. I don't hear anything, so I think we're fine.
Beautiful. So we are going to add our own custom cut settings. So what you need to do is right here at the material section. You need to come to where it says browse all material, and then all the way at the bottom it says material setting. Now from there, we're gonna scroll to the bottom, and we're gonna add a new material. So we're gonna name this thin, I've got my caps lock on, thin acrylic. And I might even do 1 millimeter.
This is such a life hack.
Yes, truly, truly. So we're gonna go to save. And now what you need to do is we are bumping this all the way up, 350 pressure, okay? And then we are turning our multi-pass on, and I'm turning it on 9, okay? So 9 passes with the deep point blade. Burp, it went back down, gotta go back up to 350. What just happened?
Bruh.
Come on.
Why did it do that?
Did it save it or not? No. Okay.
Rude.
Rude. Row. Security. Security. New material. Thin acrylic. 1 millimeter. Save. Changing our blade from fine point to deep point up to 350, 9 passes. That seems like a lot.
Crazy.
But it's gonna work. So we're
yeah.
gonna click save. And then that is the cut setting that we're gonna use. So we're gonna go to browse all. We're gonna type in thin, and there you can see that thin acrylic 1 millimeter is there.
Amazing.
And I didn't put a space between thin and acrylic, but that's okay. We're gonna click done. And from here, we're gonna come over here.
And we are going to load.
Wait, the echoes with camera 3. Why does it turn on? It automatically turns echoey on camera 3. That's a new problem.
Really?
Yes.
So when you went to camera 3,
Yes.
that's when the echo, so that's the echo that we got the couple days ago when I was
Yes.
filming. I had to refilm a full video because it echoed so bad. And that's what we were doing. Echo is
So
back. Now the
weird.
echo is back again. Okay,
That
it
is
is with
so
the camera, but we have fixed it now. It should be fixed.
We're all Gucci.
We Gucci gang. Okay, so I have my deep point blade here. I have my custom cut settings, and now we're just gonna load this bad boy in, and we're gonna start cutting. Okay, and then we're just gonna press go. It should be fine now. We know what it is. We know what the issue is.
Yes.
And we are able to fix it. We can't just turn the mic off on that camera, but it should be fixed now. It's when we go to like switch around cameras, there's
So
like a
weird.
setting that automatically turns on.
It's a brand new issue. It's
Yeah.
very strange. But I know how to turn it off now. So we're learning together.
We are learning together. Now, while that is cutting, because it is going to take a while, we do already have this cut here, but I'm going to cut it again just because I did play around with the sizing, so we will cut it again here in just a minute. But while that is cutting, I do want to talk about some issues that we had. And as bad as I hate to say it, I think it was issues possibly with the Explorer 5.
Really?
Yes, so I want you all to look at all of these. Holly tried to cut these little tiny words.
Oh my goodness.
Do you see how many times she tried to cut them this morning?
That's rough.
And this was all with the Explorer 5. This was the very first time we cut it with the Maker 4. No issues at all.
That's crazy.
So let's talk about why I think that this has happened. Because we were noticing with the Explorer 5, what the machine does on small letters like this. Let's use this for an example. So on like this small B and like the O, what the machine was doing is cutting the outside of the B first and then trying to go in and cut out the little tiny like insides of the letter B, when really and truly it should have cut the little tiny pieces first before cutting the outside.
Why it do that?
I don't know if that's
so silly.
something that, I don't know if that's something that Cricut has changed like the cut path on, but with the Maker 4, it did what it was supposed to do. Hold on. And right here, it cut the insides of the B's first before cutting the outside so that it stayed down on the vinyl.
That's crazy.
So anyway,
Well,
that's just,
we just love our makers. They're so good.
We do. Now, here's the thing. Here's the dealio. Here is the dealio. I think I'm gonna send it through one more time.
Never hurts. Actually, sometimes it can hurt, but it'll probably be great.
Well, we did 9 passes,
Yeah.
and maybe I should have taken it off at 9, but you also have to think we are cutting this with a deep point blade, so
Yeah.
we need it to be really good. And 9 is the most that it allows us to do. And it actually didn't take near as long as I thought it would.
No, that was fast.
I kind of wish it would do like 1 pass on each one so that I could count 10,
Yes.
11, 12, but it's going to do 9 full passes on each individual piece again. Okay, so that's going to go. Does anyone have any questions? Is it maybe ready for a new blade? Didn't y'all use it during craft week on paper? Yes, we did. Maybe it is, but also I really think the issue is the cut path.
Yeah.
I think that if it would have cut and I watched it with my own eyes, that it cut the outside of the letters first before cutting the insides.
So interesting.
It's very interesting and very weird, but I don't know. I just really think our OG machines have been treating us, a lot better, kind
Yeah.
of. Yeah, just my thought. Okay, we're on our last little piece here. So, not very long. Yes, Annette, we're going to use the drill to make the hole. We're not cutting the hole with the Cricut. Now, if you all want to recreate this project and you're not part of the Makers Gonna Learn family, we are dropping the link to start your 7-day trial of MGL Plus, where you can get instant access to everything that we're doing today, and you can recreate this at home. So I'm only gonna do 2 passes. I'm not doing any more, I don't think, or two rounds, I guess you could say. So that was a total of 18 passes. Didn't take as long as I kind of expected. But we are going to take this off. Once again, if you have a knife blade, it's going to be so much easier for you all to do this with a knife blade, and we are still going to have to kind of break off part of this acrylic. The Cricut, you're not really meant 100% to cut acrylic with a deep point blade, but we did kind of find a workaround, and we are going to have to tear this off, okay? So let's go ahead. We're gonna have to help it to get it out like this. So just know, if you're gonna use this, you're gonna need to cut all of it together, because once you're done with this piece of acrylic, okay?
You're done.
You're done. So what I'm doing is I'm using my finger to just kind of pop it off there. Y'all see what I'm doing? And right here, where the Cricut has cut, we're just gonna have to kind of break away. Now what I'm gonna do now, I'm actually gonna use this flat piece of these needle nose pliers, and just kind of break it across. And we can even, I'm going to grab a thing of an old pair of scissors. Give me just a second. I'm going to grab an old pair of scissors. Oh yeah, this is a pair that I really could care less about. Well. And then we're just going to keep working our way around. Actually, I think what I'm also going to do is while I'm doing this, because I did want to show you guys how it works with the deep point blade, and you can see it works. It's not great. It doesn't cut all the way through. Is it doable? Yes, 100% doable. Does it take more work? Yes. I'm going to keep working on this. I'm actually going to start another piece with the knife blade so that you all can see the difference, so that you all can decide which one you want to do. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to take the plastic cover off of this one. On both sides. Because I do think it's very important for you all to see the comparison of the two. And like I said, where there is a will, there is a way. So like I said, you can do it with the deep point blade. But it's going to take a little bit more finagling. So we're going to place this back down where it was. And we're just going to go back to that other mat. Let me move this out of the way at this point. And then we're going to move this, and I'm going to keep working on that here in just a second. But I need to tape this down, and I've got a lot of stuff on my table right now that's kind of in my way. Okay. Sadie, if you see any questions that I can answer while I'm doing this, let me know. But I am...
Amazing. The acrylic is 1 millimeter.
Yes, this is
Very thin.
the thinnest acrylic that I think you can purchase.
Yeah. This would also be so cute for like pet moms.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you could do a little paw print charm.
Oh, that would be adorable.
That'd be so cute.
So stinking cute. Boom. Okay, so we're going to go back to our share screen. Let's double check and make sure that this is where it needs to be. Why is my grid's not coming on?
That's so weird.
We're going to go with it.
Why is it doing that?
I don't know. There it is. Okay. 1, 2. Sorry, I'm just making sure that everything is going to fit and not cut. Okay, so we're going to do that. And now this, we're going to go to Browse All Material. And we're going to do tooling leather. So you can see these are like a different level of thickness. Let's actually do this one. Since this one is 1 millimeter, we can do the 4 to 5 ounces, 1.6 millimeters. Here, and this requires the knife blade. I'm going to change it to the knife blade. And then we are going to be cutting this with the knife blade. Actually, if that didn't give me any other option, let's do tooling leather, the highest one. That's the one we need. Okay, so we're gonna do the 6 to 7 ounce tooling leather. So we're gonna come back over here, and in clamp A, we are going to place in our knife blade. And now we're gonna add this in. Also, another thing that you're gonna want to do is make sure that your star wheels are moved. Do y'all see how I have the star wheels moved? You're definitely gonna wanna make sure you move those for this project. So we're gonna let this cut with the knife blade on the highest tooling leather setting. And while that is doing that, we're gonna come back over here. Let's press play here. And well, you do have to be careful because I literally just snapped that one. So what I'm doing now is I'm just trying to snap this out. So we'll go overhead. Do y'all see how I'm taking these pliers and I'm just kind of snapping these pieces off? So I'm using the flat side of the pliers and just snapping it away. And then making room. So this is why you're definitely going to need room too if you use the deep cut blade. Okay, and this is why we need the sandpaper, because now we can just sand those other little pieces down like this. And around. So there is one of our guys here. Moving on to the next one. We're just taking, and you could use like regular pliers for this.
Do you know what grit of sandpaper you're using?
This one is a 320. This is actually for a sanding, like a sanding tool. This one is 320, and this one looks like it's feels like it's about 80. So very different. I don't know if y'all know this, but the lower the grit, the rougher it is. So this is more of a finishing sandpaper, and this is if you have like larger pieces that need sanding off, you would need a higher grit. But you always just know that this higher grit has more of a chance of scratching your acrylic. That's why I like a finishing sandpaper, which is a 320. Somewhere in the upper 200s to 300s is a good finishing one, okay? So we're just moving on with our little piece here. And another thing is, if you do it with this, to get to where you need to be, you're gonna have to break like these pieces away, which is why if you are making multiple of these, cut them all at one time, because this is gonna be useless, obviously, after. Okay. Now this one is kind of just, with a little bit of pressure, it's just kind of tearing away, actually. Like this. And now, it's like it tore away at the bottom, but I can come in. This one might need a little bit more higher of a grit at first, and then we'll finish it off.
Do we have something that we could put the acrylic pieces on so they could see it better?
Yeah, here in just a minute I will. I'll get the glass board out and I'll put the acrylic pieces on the glass board. But let me finish getting these together first, and then I will get that for you for sure.
Perfect.
Well, it looks like I also just ripped the corner off of that one. So you can see how it is doable, but maybe not 100% the easiest way. But if you have an Explorer machine and you really want to do this, you can. This one is also taking a lot longer to do with the knife blade. But I'm really curious to see. It says there's 3 minutes still remaining. Boop. Got to lots of looks like little shards of glass everywhere.
That's what I was just thinking. I was thinking of the scene from The Grinch where he eats glass like a freak.
Oh my goodness, yes. Okay, so and there's our 3 little pieces down there. Let's move this out of the way. Let's throw this away. Let me grab, ow, shadookie-doo.
Oh my gosh.
My goodness gracious sakes alive. Yep.
Is that your shin?
That was my shin that you heard. Oh, that's gonna be a bruise, girls.
It's okay, you didn't need your shins anyways.
Who needs a shin? Not I. Okay, I'm getting there, guys. Trust and obey. Okay, now let me get my stuff cleaned up, get my mat out here so that you guys can see a little bit better. Get these 3 guys out of the way. I need that guy. We'll put those there. I don't know that that's any better though. It's just acrylic. It's hard to see acrylic, I think, period.
True.
Maybe if I did, maybe that.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's a lot better.
Okay, beautiful. There we go. We'll figure out how we'll come up with a way. Like I said, where there's a will, there's a way. And I do have a will to make sure you all know how to make this.
Oh,
My shin still hurts. Oh my goodness.
We're now taking donations for a new shin for Lauren.
Oh, there's already
Anyone
an
like
aunt.
to donate? Oh.
It's okay. It's fine. I've just come to the realization that I am going to knot and bruise very bad like my grandmother and my mom do. Also, let's go. Oh, we are over here. Look at the debris. I'll wipe some of it off with my finger, but that's just the debris from the deep point blade from that acrylic. That's a lot of debris.
It's dusty.
Okay. I'm glad that Lindsay asked us, do we think mylar or acetate would be sturdy enough to use in place of acrylic? We tried it. It doesn't look bad, but you can see it is out of whack. So I think for a keychain, it's just what's going to end up happening is it'll get bent like this, and it'll end up being something like this. I did not bend it that hard. Like, I'm not even going to put a crease in it right here, but it's going to take that shape. So I think it's an alternative if you want to try it. But I don't think that it's going to be, I think it would be great to make this large for like a tag, a cool tag. So, I don't know. Okay, it's telling us too that it looks good to check our cuts. Hold up, I really want to. I want to try this. Hold on. Before I unload it. Okay, so I still think we're gonna have to help it out. We're gonna go with it. But I really do think maybe even with a knife blade, we may have to help it a little bit. Okay, so it looks like we are, even with a knife blade, gonna have to help it, but I think that there is an easier way to help it, and I think that it's just gonna be maybe this right here, I don't know. Oh yeah, that came out a lot easier doing it that way. But once again, we're still gonna have to help it. But do y'all see how much easier, look, I mean, really that's not, oh, that's not even. Did y'all see how much easier that was?
That was so much easier.
So much easier doing it with the knife blade. And then we can still, don't even really need to sand it that much. There's one little corner there. Boom.
Amazing.
There's that. And let's see how much easier these guys are to maybe take off. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I can keep it in frame for you guys. Well, I cracked that one. So don't pull from this side. Let's see if we can try this one. So maybe a good rule of thumb would be to cut multiple. Let's go to one, because I think it might be easier for us to do it this way and just like straight into the trash, and maybe not even jewelry pliers. It might even be better if we had like straight pliers. Boom. I'm really just getting in here to this. Not that you have to do this. I just didn't have, I was afraid to break it, because I was afraid that, throwing that one away. I was afraid that it would pop it out. Okay. Beautiful. Here. And then this right here is my last piece. Safety glasses would be great for me to have. Not yelling at you, Holly. Sorry. I was yelling at you guys. You all might want some safety glasses, because acrylic just popped everywhere a while ago for me. So you can see it is still going to require you to pop it out no matter what blade you use. It truly does not matter. You're still going to have to kind of help it along and be easy with it, okay? I just broke that one too, but we have three. We have three now, and we are now going to cut our vinyl. So we'll go back to our share screen. We're doing this on premium vinyl permanent. We have to take our knife blade out. We're going to set that there. I'm going to check my blade on my fine point blade. Looks good. Pop this in. And then I'm going to come back over here to 2. Let's go to edit. And let's give these guys some room to breathe so that they're not so close together. Okay. Beautiful. Done. Here. And load. Now, while that is cutting, let's go overhead and let's start drilling. So if you have never used a drill before, you turn this part right here. Tool time with Lauren. If you've never used a drill before, you turn this part right here to open and close this. So with this one, it needs to be closed pretty tight because that's a very small drill bit. So I'm going to close it before I try to put it down, and then I just hold it with one hand with my finger and then twist, and then you need to hear it. A lot of times you'll hear it click. And then remember, drills go righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. This one is also, you want this one going to the right. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a place on our acrylic and slowly start drilling our hole. Okay, so you're going to start with this little guy right here, and you're going to do that to all of them. Now, if you do not feel safe holding a drill and a drill bit like this, you can use a piece of wood to drill into. But if you go super slow, it shouldn't be an issue. I actually think I put that one over to the side a little too far. Okay, and then after you have done that, we're going to move up. Okay, so now we're moving up to the next size. That's not it, this is it. I was looking to see if we had any scrap wood that I could put this down on. Hold, please, because I really don't think that holding this up is probably the safest thing for me to do, but I know we have a bunch of scrap wood in here, so I'm gonna grab a piece. This looks like a pretty good little piece. I don't know what it's used for, but looks like my drilling piece right now. Okay. Here we go. Beauty and grace. So we're going to do this. Lay this down. Right back in the hole that you were just in. And we're just going to make it just a little bit bigger each time. So that one will fit in there like that. And then we'll just
that. There we go. Beauty. And I really think that this might be a good, I think that might be fine. I think this might be good. Okay. Now we're gonna come over here, unload this guy. Dude, the devil is playing with the church's money today. I'm not even lying to you guys. What did it do? Do you all see? Hold on. I'm going to have to weed this because this looks, I don't know how else to say this other than this looks janky. I wish I knew how to say, like, it looks terrible. Right there, I guess, it looks terrible. But it looks like let me just show you. First of all, I don't think this blade even cut through. No, I'm not weeding this. I want you, let's see if we can see the word belong. Wait just a second. Let it focus. Let it focus. Come on, focus. Focus here. Focus here. Focus here. Focus right here.
Oh
there we go.
gosh.
Do you all see the word? Look at that. That is not what that looked like on the screen.
That's crazy.
That looks terrible. Nope, I'm not weeding that.
Yikes.
Yikes. I guess I will weed this one that we already cut. I don't know what was wrong. Maybe I didn't clean my blade good enough. I thought I did. But we're going to use this one. So I'm going to weed this out. I'm going to hold this down like this. I have so much stuff on this table, guys. I'm not even joking. And I am going to need to use the pen for this one. For sure. Right now would be a good time. If you have any questions, I am going to pretty much be concentrating on weeding these little baby letters. So I may not talk to you for a minute, I don't know. I will say letters like this are, or weeding things like this is sometimes a little bit like doing surgery. But if I have any advice to give you all, it is having multiple tools ready. So like, do you see how I'm using my True Control knife to cut away some of this vinyl so that I can get in between these little tiny pieces? That is what I have found is key when it comes to weeding little tiny letters. So I'm currently trying not to lose my L. There it is.
That was a loud plane.
Okay. We've got Carson and Colton. We're almost done with Braden. So now, it's all about weeding in sections. And this is the reason why I actually gave a lot more room for me when I cut it again. I was giving more room so that I don't have to worry about what just happened. It got stuck to itself a little bit right here. Somehow. Where did, oh, my E's on my finger. I was like, where did the E go? It's on my finger.
Everyone's holding their breath. Please breathe. We're not responsible for you passing out.
I am. You all breathe. I'm breathing. I'm about to be upset though. I'm about to be mad, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to let it defeat me. A lot of times I have to be like Dory and just keep swimming, just keep swimming. Come on, you little E. Just stay where you're supposed to go. I'm just gonna let you guys know, if we weren't on a live show right now, I would be cussing. Cussing. There we go. Shoo! Lordy day. Lordy day. Now, I'm going to separate this guy right here. You know what I should have done?
What?
Reverse weeded.
Well,
It's too late now.
everyone's saying it's wild how determined you are.
If y'all think this is determined, you should see me in my real life. This is my real life. I am wildly determined. Oh my God, I might. Okay, I might lose it. I don't know. I'm not going to. Let's leave this here.
Imagine if you had cut it smaller than it is right now.
I can't. I literally can't. Hold on just a minute. Where's my eye? Oh my God, this is giving me so much anxiety, guys. I don't think you understand. But it's okay.
Everybody lift up a prayer.
One thing about Lauren, if you didn't know, for some reason I'm good under pressure, but I just want you guys to know, like, this is if there's been a project that's gotten to me here recently, it's this one right now. It is this one. You know what I'm gonna do though? I'm gonna reverse weed the rest of it. Yeah, I'm good. Holly's come in here to check on me. She thinks that I'm about to have a conniption, but I'm not. I'm doing great. Almost done.
She hasn't said a single bad word.
I haven't said a, that's the thing, is I've not said a single bad word yet.
We're so proud.
Okay, we're gonna reverse read the rest of it. We're just gonna reverse weed, guys. Except I might get these little, since I got the hard part out, let's just go ahead and get the insides of these letters out of here for the names, if nothing else. You know what I mean?
I mean, you've already gotten this far.
We've already gotten this far. Mother of pearl. I'm also really trying to keep my head out of the shot, guys, so that you all can see what I'm doing. Ooh. Come on. Come on. Ugh. Come on. There we go. There's definitely got to be an easier way. We're reverse weeding now. Okay. Coo. Glad you all have stuck around this far. Y'all are the true OGs for... So if this were me, and I were... Well, this is me. That's a dumb thing to say when it's literally me and I'm not doing it like I should be.
So funny.
Anyway, welcome to Lauren's comedy show.
Honestly.
Oh my God. This is about to say, is mama belongs to.
So for everyone watching, if you're making this keychain, make it 1 foot tall, a foot wide, and you should be good.
Yeah. Holy sheep.
That was a close one.
It was.
I almost had to deduct some points.
I think, honestly, I could really just say it and it would be warranted at this point.
I was going to say it'd be so justified.
Okay, you know what? We're getting rid of this. We're just going to put Mama's heart belongs to. Mama belongs to.
Perfect.
Just Mama belongs to, not this. Okay. Oh, can we please go to 1? Can we please, y'all can't even see this mess that is this craft table. This is also.
It's so overstimulating.
Okay. I don't even know. There it is. Okay, go back overhead. Please no. We're going to reverse weed that belongs to, okay? This is probably what I should have done from the beginning. From the beginning.
From the get-go.
Oh, yeah. Definitely what I should have done from the beginning.
Karen says all of that is taken away from your vibe. All the stuff on the table.
It is, I know. Okay, y'all saw how much easier it was, and that belongs to is even smaller than the, I definitely should have reverse weeded. Y'all, take a lesson from my book, and I'm pretty sure Holly told me to reverse weed,
but I just don't reverse weed a lot. So this is definitely a reverse weeding project. I bet you money that somebody suggested, like, why are you not reverse weeding earlier, and I just missed it. So if you said that, kudos to you. You're the smart one, not me. I'm currently trying to get the middle out of the O. Once again, I'm doing surgery here, guys. Might as well be my... Oh, God, there it is. Okay, cool. And boom. So as you can see, this is not one of those this is not a design space heavy project. This is an actual get in there and do it heavy project. Okay, so I'm just separating our names. Looks like I left the center of the A here. And now just cutting these apart so that we can place these guys down like this and this. Okay, so we have all of our little tiny pieces. Put that guy there. We're gonna start with this one. This one is gonna be Colty's. Colton. Colton.
Cute.
Cute, cute, cute. Also, this one I accidentally snapped a little bit on the edge, but you can sand that down so that you can't see that, you can't tell it as bad. Just round out that corner. You can't really even tell. Anyway, moving on, we'll do Carson next. Colton, Carson, and Braden. Also, I definitely should have wiped these down with alcohol first, but my brain is a little bit frazzled, so I didn't. But maybe I will on the leather one. Maybe we'll just wipe this one down like you should. For the main one, we're gonna doop doop, and we'll just wipe it down so that it goes on there really well. So if you want to, if you're applying adhesive vinyl and you've been messing around with these pieces a lot, you're probably going to want to wipe it down with some alcohol just to get your vinyl to stick. Remember, this is just Mama Belongs. Not this Mama, but it's about to be Mama Bellings, not Belongs.
Someone said this is definitely a labor of love type project. Usually it's not, y'all. Usually it's not this bad. It was just a little silly cutting out.
Yeah, I don't know why. I definitely think it's because I didn't reverse weed. I also have the L on my finger, so we're just going to place this down, and then I'm going to place the L down. Beyongs. Mama belongs to. Anyway, now it's time for us to put on our jump rings and whatnot. So, what we are going to do first, it looks like I'm actually going to take this part off. So, I'm going to use my pliers. And I'm just going to open up this side right here and take this side off and actually put this one in right here like this. And then using the flat side of your, so this is why jewelry pliers come in really handy, because you can use this flat piece in the middle to bring it back together and like close it up. But this helps straighten up that piece right there. So now we've got this on. Now I coulda, shoulda, woulda put our little charm on there. We can go ahead and pick our charm. You could do this one. Oh, let's do the 4-leaf clover. The 4-leaf clover is big, and this one's a pretty big one. Let's do the 4-leaf clover.
That is cute. Very cute.
Okay, and this is why I like having 2 sets of pliers, is because I can hold with one and open with the other. And I'm just gonna latch that in there and then bring that back together like that. Boom, bam.
So cute.
First one done. Now I'm gonna grab my little baby jump rings here.
Just a little BBs.
Little BBs. Let's just,
Oh,
here.
that was perfect.
I know, I need one more. One more BB, come out. Come on. Maybe I'll just grab one. Boop.
I was so confused for a second. I was like, how are they all landing on that piece? It's a magnet.
It's magnet.
I was like, how is this happening?
No, I have super
What is this
powers,
sorcery?
Sadie. I do have superpowers. It looks like I might have gotten it a little close with these jump rings. They're a little small. Actually, for where I drilled the hole. We might have to change course real quick. And we may have to use these guys, which is also perfectly fine. So you do want to be cognizant of how large the jump rings you have are. And make sure that when you do drill the hole in your pieces, that you drill it to where it is large enough to fit the jump ring through. Okay, so here is this one.
What was that?
I really hope that was her shoe.
A bird? An alarm?
I hope it was not a bird.
I don't think y'all heard it, but something squeaked so loud in there. What was it?
So right now I'm just adding these and bringing these jump rings together. Now this one was kind of more of a twisted jump ring that was part of the, sorry, out of the shot. Gotta remember, keep it in there, Lauren. Carson, Braden. I'm just using this that was on the actual keychain part that come off. I'm just using these. Like I said, they're not perfectly circle, but they work because the other ones that I have are a little small. So, anyway, this is my last one. I think, yep, if we can get it on there. Okay, now let's take this.
Grab this guy. Let me hold him right here. Add that in. I thought that closing them up would be easier, but it looks like I need to hold them both and no, I've not had this bit of, okay, here we go. There we go. Colty's on there. Now we have all of our boys.
Yay. Everybody give Lauren a round of applause.
Yeah, I mean,
Yay.
listen, y'all, normally it's not this hard,
No.
but there's a couple things that I want to talk to you guys about. So when it comes to cutting this acrylic, number one, if you have the knife blade, it's going to be easier to use the knife blade. Period, point blank, no questions asked. It's just easier to use the knife blade. Number two, when you are kind of helping the acrylic come off, like where it's been cut, when you are breaking it off, break it off in small pieces, okay? We definitely want to do smaller pieces are better than larger pieces. That way you don't run a risk of breaking it or snapping it. So smaller pieces. And then if you want to use the whole sheet, make sure you cut out as many of these as you want. So because after you're done like breaking it apart, you're not going to be able to use it again. Okay. Now, when it comes to your vinyl, number one, reverse weed. Don't do like I did. Don't do like I did. And reverse weed. Reverse weeding is so much easier. Deep point blade, yes, is the black housing. This one is the deep point blade. It can be used on any machine, but know that the knife blade is going to work so much better. Okay? Knife blade is better. Knife blade is different. It can only be used with a Maker Series machine because it is an adaptive tool. So this is only for people who have a Maker 3, or a Maker 4. This is for people who have an Explorer Series machine, and you may even want to see if you can do more pressure and possibly even clean your blade, because you're going to need to create those custom cut settings. Okay? Take a screenshot of this. Take a screenshot. And then you're going to use that with this one. But you're going to need to run this through at least twice and clean your blade after the first 9 passes. Okay? And then, like I said, the only other thing that I have to say is make sure that you reverse weed this vinyl.
Yes.
And that's about it.
It is so cute.
It really is a cute,
I love it.
It really is a cute end result. I do think this is the 2.5 compared to the 2-inch. So here's the 2-inch, here's the 2.5 inch.
So cute.
You can see there's just more room. So if you do plan on doing a couple charms, which I think the charms really, add something. Like you could even do 2 or 3 different charms. You could do a charm for each kid even, like a little tiny charm.
Yes.
But I think the charms really elevate it. But if you do the 2.5, you kind of have more room for the charm and to read it. This one, like I said, is the 2-inch versus the 2.5. So there you go. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. You've stayed for an hour and a half. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for sticking around. If it were me and I saw somebody struggling that much, I probably would have been like, that ain't no expert. They don't know what they're doing. But I promise you I do.
And if you have not, or if you are not part of Makers Gonna Learn, we would love to have you. We really do know what we're doing, I swear. This was just a little bit more of an advanced project. But we would love to have you as part of Makers Gonna Learn if you want the files or any cut files or fonts, or if you have a new Cricut, you want access to any of the courses that we have, you can do so by signing up for our 7-day trial. You're gonna get immediate access to our website, all of the cut files, fonts, courses, everything, you get it all. Now you do get 20 download credits with that trial, so you can choose 20 cut files, 20 fonts, or a mixture of both if you want to. And then once you become a full member, you get access to every single one of them. So go ahead and join us if you're not part of MGL already. Thank you so much. I love that you all are supportive of our troubleshooting endeavors. Let's just say that. It seems like you all really like it when we mess up, and boy, did I mess up today. So anyway, thank you guys so much for being here with us. I'm now going to clean up this absolutely disgusting table, and I will see you guys back here on the channel next